that have like a
Oh yeah,
glow.
yeah. There's like
If
a
I've
it's
been,
like a high reflection on your branding there.
yeah, I'm like high res.
What is that
Safe.
branding? Is that Be Better
That's
Betters?
no,
Oh.
no, and I'm the host,
What is it?
Spanky. Yeah, I did a very pregnant pause. Pregnant with twins there. Bissell Brothers Brewing in
Bissell
Portland,
Brothers Brewing. I like it. It's
Maine. I've
good.
told this story. I went in there with the white t-shirt, had some beers and a hot chicken sandwich, and first bite of that hot chicken sandwich squirted all over my fucking shirt. I said, honey, and we were like, we'd taken a car there, it wasn't like right next to the hotel or something.
Of course.
I said, honey, we are buying a
Buying a
shirt.
t-shirt.
Buying a t-shirt here. Changing in the bathroom of a brewery.
I love it.
So this game hasn't been terribly fun. Maybe you're watching the other one. Maybe you win against me and you bet the Lions, then you're having fun.
Yeah, if you bet the Lions, or if you're a Lions fan, you're having a grand old time.
Goff looks pretty solid against
Goff is
beat up
dealing.
defensive line.
He's dealing. His the first drive for the Lions where Goff was dump off and then sacked, felt like that was the only good plays we've seen from the Seattle defense. Since then, they've been getting pushed around, and Goff is shredding them. Let's talk about this Tennessee-Miami game, I suppose, since we're technically handicapping the second half here. Tennessee, of course, has switched quarterbacks. We now have the very, very normal and not fun Mason Rudolph manning the ship, and he is doing an extremely capable job and not creating the chaos-inducing, type of scoring environment that I was hoping for when I played the over pregame. We were looking at a side here that is Tennessee plus 2.5 second half. The total is 17. Not exactly sure how Miami's getting back into this one. Snoop Hunley is lost. The passing offense is useless, and the defense has been out there. It feels like an awful lot for Miami at this point, and they're starting to give up plays in chunks. It is a 2-1 time of possession advantage for Tennessee at this point. Tennessee has 4.3 yards per play to Miami's 3. Oh, 3. God.
1 for 6 on third down. Obviously didn't get that fourth down. I loved them going for it. We've had a bunch of that this year. That's been a big theme in the year. The themes have been scoring's down, kickers make everything, and they're going for fourth downs in all the right spots and calling the worst fucking plays we've ever seen.
Yes.
Like the sweep is not what you want there, especially you have a big bruiser back, you have another back, like you have several guys, you have a quarterback who can run. That's probably not the play you want to run. You're getting too cute by half when you just need a little bit of yardage. Like those are fun for here and there, but we don't need that on a big fourth down spot. Huntley 7 for 10 for 35 yards. It's kind of like the Bryce. It's the Bryce Young stat line before he got benched. Where it's like Bryce Young's like 9 for 8, 9 for 10 or something, and it was like 16 yards. And they're not being able to push the ball deep at all. The tackling has been good enough for Tennessee despite some injuries, and they're just limiting everything, keeping it in front of them, and forcing a lot of punts. So
who's less valuable so far for the fantasy community between Christian McCaffrey and Tyreek Hill?
Oh, I mean, probably McCaffrey.
Well, he's not available.
Yeah, so that's true. It's
like if you're starting Tyreek Hill, like your biggest expectation in the wide receiver 1 is giving you 2 catches for 3 yards type of performance.
I end up my league that I drafted McCaffrey first to have Rashee Rice as well, and Mostert, and I benched Kelsey because he just hasn't been producing. So that league, we'll just worry about that next summer.
Okay.
CMC. I don't know. We'll maybe have to get into the tendonitis. It's just not something you hear.
Bilateral.
Wait, it always
was it bilateral?
But it always seems to be like an elbow thing.
Tendonitis.
When you hear tendonitis, you think tennis elbow. And my dad had some tennis elbow. I know people who've had that injury. It's always just hey, you just can't use your arm for a while and you get better. So I think McCaffrey, unless it's something chronic or silly, that it feels like he should be able to get back. It just might be November. So
Detroit just
Detroit just running. We need
Yeah.
We need Seattle to keep pace and get a turnover, essentially.
Terrible game. Terrible set of games for me personally. I'm going to lose both my bets tonight, it looks like. And my gut is to play Tennessee Titans money line second half here because I just don't feel like I believe in anything Miami's doing at all.
No, I'm with you there. They've moved the ball a little. So I took a little money line when they put Rudolph in.
Yeah,
because I was like, God,
he's capable.
These teams aren't that different. Like they shouldn't be plus 120 at this point. It should be a pick 'em. So I took a little pick 'em. I'm sitting on some. I'm happy to add some more.
Okay, let's play second half money line plus 143. Or are you happier taking the points?
We can. I mean, considering the 2.5.
We got Nick Folk on our side. He's a fucking hero, man. He's just bombing 50-yard field goals here.
You know, I don't know that. What's the scenario where that helps us? It probably just the case where the teams score the equal amount of points in the second half.
Yes, a push on the a push on the money line is a win.
7-6, 7-6 second half. 10-9, I guess, but I'm fine just taking the money line at this point.
All right, it's down to plus 132. It was plus 150 when we started, so we are not alone. The market is with us. Okay. Tennessee money line. I got the price I ended up getting was plus 132.
I found a 140 somewhere. I'll take it. Tickle, and then I did mention this in the Discord. I took some Geno attempts over when I was 39.5. I'll have to look and see what that's at now.
49.5 has a very realistic shot of making it, from what I can tell you, Andy, unless they just pull the old ripcord because they're down by so much. He's got 15 already, and they basically just had the 2 drives. Yeah, Jesus, man. Yeah, that I mean, assuming that they continue to move the ball and complete passes instead of incompletions, you're gonna get there. I think
we'll be all right. I think we should get that one. So, how is Miami this bad? It's just hard to. I think it's hard to bring a guy in from a different franchise and get him to learn an offense as quick. I remember. I mean, even just like a really, really simple high school yearbook, high school playbook, like that shit takes time to figure out. And I know these
bunch
guys
of their
have been doing it for years and years, but it feels like a complicated offense because of just how much motion, how much misdirection McDaniel wants to use pre-snap. So it's either like abandon all that and get away from your offensive identity completely, or try to get him to learn it. And I don't know if KSC did it. Like a big part of what Dobbs did when he was successful was unsustainable, super long third down scrambles. And then he looked like shit the next week. But I mean, there are guys who did. I'm kind of with you there, Zelensky. He did it with other guys. We saw it in Cleveland with Stefanski. He brought in 4 different quarterbacks that weren't Watson and played with him at times. Obviously, Flacco. Man, maybe that's the difference too, bringing in somebody who's a little more experienced like Flacco and letting them run an offense, because obviously he stepped in the Colts game, another new offense, and looked pretty decent.
Let's hope and pray that our second half money line gets home and Miami presumably only ends with 3 or 6 points in this game. What would you expect they open Miami at the New England Patriots next week?
God.
Like, is Miami your 32nd power ranked team based on what you're seeing right now?
I gave him a little upgrade with Huntley over,
I did too.
With Sky, and I think we might just be back to Sky numbers. Right now, I have that like a pick 'em.
As with your
this is
somewhat bullish number.
This is my current pricing, yeah. Actually, I have New England 0.45 points better.
I have New England 1.1 point better.
I have them 0.45, and I haven't added in. I'm going to add in a little bit.
Andrews is a big loss for the Pats. Yeah, the Pats have a bunch of injuries too. Man.
Well, it's a short week for Miami as well.
True. Yeah. Miami's got a disadvantage for rest. Miami has I don't think any of these guys who matter are necessarily coming back.
I don't think
Kendall Fuller certainly
back.
matters. I would say that Teron Armstead certainly matters.
It's gonna be another bad game.
It is. I can't believe that we're just stuck here, and Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are on an offense that can only get 3 yards per play.
Did you see? I think it was Matthew Berry tweeted it out. He's like, "Hey, Tyreek Hill's getting a little older. He's like 31 at this point, and the contract situation, whatever. He's like,
They paid him again.
He's like, is Tua coming back? Anytime soon? He's like, what? What about trading him back to Kansas City? I'm like, at first it was one of those, the kombucha girl. It's like, and then I'm like, well, I don't hate it.
Don't hate it.
Miami might play back-to-back weeks where there's no touchdowns scored, maybe at least by the offense.
Yeah, this feels
like
rough, man.
It feels like there's a defensive score coming in the. Although losing Levis is maybe not as, that's not going to help the defensive scoring. Do you think it was like, oh, his shoulder's fucked, there's no way he can play, or it's like, well, he's a little banged up, and I've been looking for a reason. It's like when you were looking to break up with a girl, and she gets in a little argument with her, and it's like, well, I guess we're done.
I guess we're done.
Yeah, I guess this. Yeah.
I will say that his facial expressions and the kind of grimacing in pain that he expressed would make me think it was real. But I certainly think Callahan's pretty satisfied with what he's seeing with this offense relative to what just the human the human ulcer that is Will Levis for Bill Callahan or Brian Callahan. So it's
funny that you bring up Bill Callahan though, because I know there's some injuries, but boy, he leaves and somebody's offensive line really goes to shit.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Maybe we joked about that. I didn't think we were joking. We talked about it in the preseason. We said everyone's looking at him to make this big difference where he goes. Like maybe we need to look at where he's leaving. He might make a big difference not having him anymore. Swiping a good offensive line coach is a big deal sometimes.
Yep, absolutely. I don't have anything else on this game. You want to put a nail on this one and go on to go to our next room?
Yeah, we're gonna go record a podcast, but we'll do it live as we are wont to do. So we're gonna leave. It'll be on the same channel. You know the drill. I'm gonna pop a different room. We'll see you guys. Hopefully we get this Titans second half money line home. Hit the thumbs up on the way out. We'll see you in the other room.
All right.